Good morning, Dana. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Friday morning builder call. This is Debbie Gordon, and I'm really excited to be with you today and talk about some wins of the week. We've had some really great things going on with doTERRA. And so we've had this back to school 25% off sale that's been remarkable. And I know we've had a BOGO sale going on in Australia, Jade, so thanks for joining us. So let's talk with some wins about what these sales do for your team. Let's talk about that for a minute. Go ahead and share your thoughts there.
I just feel like it brings value and also trust in the company that, the company does try to time things for different seasons of people's lives. So it's really fun to see, how they've brought out the back to school sale.
Mm-hmm. It was really timely. I did not anticipate that was coming. So, I mean, we do a focus, right, on back to school.
The last half of the month after the 15th. That's smart.
Yeah, very good. What else, Jade, have you noticed?
Well, when the people that are educated and they're already engaged, they're going to buy anyways before the 15th. So those are your top 20 people, or 20% of the people. But, these sales are actually for the other 80% of the people who, are still deciding whether they want to fully commit to doTERRA. I mean, if you want to commit to doTERRA, most of us order at the beginning of the month. So it's smart of them to do it after. So if you watch next month after the 15th, there might be something coming up again. So I've seen that every but it's still surprising. I mean, what they come up. So it's great that it's not expected and people, are waiting on it. Yeah. So
we've got convention next month, and the middle of the month is coming after convention. Mm-hmm. So it's entirely possible they might open up those convention kits.
That's right. And
they're planning on these post-convention tours that are huge events now.
That's right. They're making it more like mini conventions now and not just infomercials. I don't know if you know that they're going to give. They have a Roma Touch hand technique kit, class kit.
No, I don't know anything about that.
Okay, well, I know something. They have this beautiful box, and there's I think 6 cards with like indented circles where you put your oils on, and then people look at those cards and decide what kind of help they need for the hand technique. So you can do an actual intro class hand technique and have them, the cards and the oils teach themselves. Because people will say, well, I feel this way and a little bit of this and a little bit of this. Okay. And then they can smell the oils on the cards and then pick their favorite. And then you get 25 mini vials that they can make their own blend. And then they get a mini booklet of how to use the hand technique and the oils. And I think the oils too. But then you get a mesh bag that comes with it. So, you've got all of these goodies, and then you close up the bag and then you hand it to them, and that's your class. So,
oh gosh. How do we find this, Ben or Jade?
This is they tell the trainers about it first, and then they'll send it out to everyone. So I get to get up to 5 of them at convention. There's only 5,000, so they're offering it only to the trainers that come to convention. So we can get up to 5, so I'm just going to get 5. And I'll show you guys when I get them, and have you guys enjoy them, because I think they just haven't produced it enough. In fact, they had a live webinar that there's live video that they were going to do, and it took 2 hours. They started at 2 hours late because they're still putting that kit together. So, we'll see. We'll play with it and see how it goes. But a lot of the Aussies and people, I think I'll give some of the Aussies, because they made a big investment to come to the US, and so they can take some of that home. But yeah, I'll share it around with the.
I would love to get one if you have any extras left over.
I know, right?
Well, I am working on getting trained as a trainer.
Yeah,
I want to tell you, on my bucket list, Jade, is to attend one of your trainings.
yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be so fun. I've had the Amish people write me letters, love letters. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so happy. Yeah, but isn't that exciting? So that's another thing that might come out after convention. You never know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's put the hope out there, right? That we can get that hand massage kit.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So Marie just joined us and Wendy just joined us. Welcome, welcome. And so just in a nutshell, in 30 seconds or less, Jade, will you go over that one more time for their benefit?
So guys, doTERRA created a new AromaTouch hand technique class in a box. And they have 6 cards with dents in them for oils. You have bags, and you have the sample vials and handouts for them to take home. So basically it has everything you need to do a sort of an intro class with a hand technique, just to assist you along. And that whole box is $35. Well, that's how much they're selling it to us for. So I'm hoping that that's the price.
So to the trainers first.
The trainers,
it's not available to all of us.
no. So it's only 5,000 kits that they have available. And I saw that offer yesterday, and I put my name down for 5. Hopefully. And yeah, I'll bring it to the party and I'll show you.
That is exciting. That is seriously exciting.
That's
I
cool.
would love to put my hands on that. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Very
Mhm.
nice. Okay, so we're talking about your wins for the month and how the back to school sells, how the BOGOs in July even, if you want to go back there to that month, how they have helped you grow your business. What have you done with it? What have you done to market it to your team, market it to your communities so that many are benefiting from these savings? This back to school sale is 25% off the wholesale cost. Remarkable, absolutely remarkable. And so there's some great savings. So talk to us about how you have marketed that to your teams and how it's benefited your team growth or your team sales, as well as the communities that you're getting it into.
Well, for one thing, I just really saw the volume come up this week. I got on last night and I'm like, oh, wow, this is a nice surprise. It's really fun to see that. So that I guess I feel like it's a one way the company does. It's a win-win. So that made me excited to get on and see that last night.
It is a win-win. Now, Dana, do you do more to your team? Do you text it out? Do you do live Facebooks? Do you email it out? What do you do to get the information out to your team besides the corporate email?
So typically what I do is I take like a screenshot of their little promo or, get on the Golden Platinum page and download their stuff.
Exactly.
And then I send that out with a personalized text. And I will actually go through and target specific people depending on what special is going on. So it does take me a little bit of time to customize that, but I do get interaction. When I take the time to do that versus if I just do a mass text. So I know that's effective. Email, I do sometimes send out email. I don't really feel like people check their email enough to spend a lot of time there. And I do like the Facebook postings, and occasionally I do the Facebook lives. This week I haven't done one yet, so I was thinking I need to do that before the end of the day.
Yeah, I did that yesterday, the day before. I don't remember what day I did it. So I brought it out also on Facebook, did a text blitz. I find that people don't open their emails as often either. But then you get that occasional team member that says, I see all these from corporate. I don't need to hear from you. That's been an occasional thing, but very seldom. I have about 3 people that say that to me. And so I've stopped sending.
When we text, or when we email, we try to email through Get Response so we can see who opens it, and the open percentage. That helps give us some feedback, because sometimes I have no idea who opens it, but and how awesome. Sometimes people are inactive for a while and then they happen to open this random email. But you get to see the data when you do it through GetResponse.
So Jade, is that like MailChimp?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we just picked one, and then we pay a monthly fee for it. And also we have the text app, and that app, we have groups in the app now. I think because last month Ben just thought, because I do things the hard way, and he likes to simplify my life, so he introduces things. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't, and this time it did. It gave me an app, and then he uploaded all the names of the people and then helped me with my groups. And so all it is was you compose a text, and then you insert name in the parentheses, and then it inserts the name for you. So I just click on send, and then sometimes and I get to individualize it too. So sometimes I know that this girl's going through this one thing, and I say, well, how's your dog? Hope you're feeling well. Oh, by the way, and then the rest of the text. And then so I get to do that, and it's 5 minutes, lickety split, and I'm done with it. Not even that. So from typing it up to sending it out, and I thought, oh, lifesaver. Because I have the relationship with the people. It has to come from my text, my phone. So, I mean, Ben would love to help me, but I already have this established relationship. So that becomes my job. Yeah. And I said to him, the concern was, what if they have too many texts, and what if it sounds spammy, and what if my emails, people don't want to hear from me that much, and I don't want to bother them. And he reminds me, Jade, if you have the spirit of being outward thinking, loving them, they can't be offended. And in fact, when he said that, I got several replies saying, thank you so much for thinking of me. I took advantage of that offer. And I thought, oh, okay, she did that last month, and she did the month before, and people just like spending, I guess. So it kind of helps confirm that it's okay if you do it in that spirit, to read it and say, hey, if I was her, would this feel like I'm loving and stuff? Hi, Erin. Yeah.
Very good. So Jade, will you, for the group again, will you tell us what that text app is?
Oh, yeah, it's called A to Z. Let me double check what A to Z Contacts. So if you have an iPhone, that's the app for you. And I don't think it's on Android. Apologize to everyone.
So can you input all your information from your computer, or do you have to do it from your phone?
I don't know how he did it. I think it's my Google Contacts. So I'm sure that there's ways to do that. So I can't tell you stuff because I didn't do it myself. But my teammates, I feel like every few months, I guess every 6 months, I have a more of a up level. So I'm asking them all to step up a little bit more now, and they're doing that. So that's good. I guess when the team grows and then I feel overwhelmed again, I say, hey, so I say, hey, would you like to download this and then be able to text a text similar to this to your team? And then they take it on. So that's good. Yeah.
Awesome. Very good. Thanks for sharing that. We can count on one thing for sure from Ben, and that's all this technological savvy that he's got. So I appreciate you sharing. Would that we could hire him to do it for us, right, Dana?
Right. Yeah. Offer him something.
Taking the time to upload the contacts is work, but then it's easy. And
It asks me every other time if I have more contacts to upload, and I thought, oh, it's just a button. Maybe that's all he did. Yeah. If you already have your groups in your Google, I just use Google, so I can't speak for the other emails things, but I have my groups, and then it kind of uploads everything as I organized it on my email. So yeah.
I'll have to talk to you more about that, since you guys have quite the email campaign going on, and I'm still in the learning mode of that. So, and Marie has an email campaign going on. So jump on here, Wendy and Marie, and tell us how these cells that doTERRA has run the last couple of months have helped you grow your team and get these savings out to the communities at large.
I'm multitasking, so sorry. I always am when I'm on this call on Fridays. It's a tough time for me, but I think that the biggest thing I see is, like Dana said, I'm like, it's bumping the volume up. People want, these good deals, and so it's been beneficial that way. I think that that can also run out, so I can't count on that. People are going to go, okay, I'm out of money. I've got all the good deals I can get, but I'm taking them while I can get them, right? And trying to incorporate the education with it so that they not only feel like they got a good deal, but then they know how to use it and they incorporate it into their life. But I think that's the biggest thing, is it's been a huge volume booster.
Yeah, exactly right. So good news there, right?
Yeah.
And Wendy, you've got quite a growing team, which is really, really exciting. So congratulations.
Yeah, it is exciting to finally see this happening, but yeah, grateful for it.
Yeah. And Jen messaged me. She's headed off to San Diego this morning. So
Yes, she is, and she's got several classes booked there and exciting things happening on her team. So that's awesome. But I do know that I falter on this technological side too. You must have given me that gene, or that gene must have passed to me too, or something. I don't know. But that is my biggest issue, and I know that I have to be really careful about making my emails sound like spam, and I'm sure they do. I think they probably do come off that way sometimes when I'm trying to do mass emails. So I need to be better at personalizing. So how do you take the time, Zaid, your team is so much bigger than mine, and Debbie, your team is so much, I can't even imagine how big your team looks like on the map, but how do you take the time to personalize? Are you just pulling out certain people that you're inspired to pull out and personalizing those? Are you personalizing the general email? Give me more on that. I would love more.
I can speak to that a little, I think, Wendy. So so emails I do like general, but then I always try to keep in my head, I always use that like acronym of WIFM, like what's in it for me from their perspective. Like if I'm receiving this in email, what's in it for me? So I always try to make sure there's one educational component that they can take out and like use. And the other thing that I found that I enjoy, and I think other people do too, is if I'm doing an email about like a BOGO promotion, right? Like I'll personalize how like we use those oils, which is what everybody does. I don't think that's like super like new and exceptional, but I think people do enjoy hearing from someone, like, because they already trust you, so I think they enjoy hearing from you how you personally have used those oils. And sometimes I'll just take a spin on it. Like I remember with the Blue Tansy, like my spin on Blue Tansy was really all about the emotional side of Blue Tansy, because there was some good cool stuff that you could do with that Blue Tansy BOGO from an emotional, energetic point of view. So, and then the text messages would be where it would be personalized for me. Anyways, that's kind of how I divide it up. And then for text messages, there I'm kind of more strategic. So I will look at, where the volume needs to be. And then I'll message team members and say, here's a sample text. I thought that was actually really good. I was going to say for Dana, when you like sent out that example text of a BOGO, and like, it just makes things a little easier. So for this back to school sale, I wrote up a sample text and I sent it out to all my team builders saying, here's like something that you could use. So you can adapt it, but here's like kind of a prototype to make it a little bit easier. I found that was helpful. And then the other thing that I did that I liked was on the post that I did in our Facebook group, I just asked, like, of these back to school products, which products do you love and why? And that was a good one, because then you get people saying, like, talking about the products, and because there's comments, then it shows up in more feeds. So then your other people in the group are more likely to see that particular post because it's more active. And and then I went out and specifically asked my builders, hey, can you please post on that particular, or can you comment on that particular post? So we had more engagement on it. So.
And there was a lot of engagement. It was really good.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good one. Yeah. And then they're not just hearing from me, right? That's increasing that. It's just like when you read reviews on a product, right? You're more likely to try a new product if you've read good reviews on it. So you're basically getting your customers to review the products to your other customers.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's helpful. Thanks.
Very good. All right, so we've got Jen doing Silver Club, and we've got Dana and Marie doing Diamond Club. How's it going? Share with us how it's going. What has been working well? What needs to be working better?
That's a $60 question. Really what I think.
More people need to say yes to classes.
That. I did a
Go
class
ahead, Dana.
and I had 20 people confirmed coming and 10 came. So even though you've confirmed them and they say they're coming, they aren't coming.
So that you always got to plan another event, right?
Yep, I already have a back to school event on the 5th.
Yeah.
With the holiday landing, with Labor Day here in the States landing right at the end of August and beginning of September, and then school just started on Monday locally here. So you had to plan kind of strategically in hopes to get more people here, because in where we're at, and I know Marie would probably say the same thing, people scatter because summer is short. And so you have to really plan your events when people are going to be home.
Yeah.
So that's the intention there.
Yeah. Marie, are your kids back in school yet?
No, the whole province goes back to school right after Labor Day. So that's the 3rd of September.
Yeah.
They did that here.
I do too. Extend the summer a little bit, but that is more difficult to get people to events. Is that what you've experienced, Marie?
Yeah. Yeah. Just more people still on holidays before school starts.
You guys know how to holiday much better than we. Awesome. Okay. Any other thoughts, comments that you want to share?
Debbie, I watched a webinar, and one of the diamonds said that you must keep talking about the fundamental fives, LLB, DDR, and Terrazyme, Copaiba balance, and what their last two. I mean, everyone's different too, but because they're ordering those consistently and they're ordering the consumables, then you can say when you wait for BOGO and then you stock up on oils. That's what they say. So I didn't watch it until after the BOGO, but I thought that should be a good focus because sometimes if you have not already experienced it, I experienced it a lot. People will text you and they stop their LRP. They tell you, oh, sorry, Jade, I'm not going to order this month because I have more oils than I know what to do with, right? Because they're not using the top 5. And so that's my responsibility, and I should have done better in that way. So
I find that the one thing that I struggle with that is that because like when you're advertising a class and everything like that, when you're getting people in the door, and maybe like I've always done it from like, this is essential oils. Learn how essential oils can be a good tool to add to your family's health. And then that sort of balancing that with, and like they are, but in terms of like resale, yeah, they have to be using the supplements, but I'm not advertising come to like a supplements class.
Yeah.
You know, like not for like newbies. I've done supplement class for like established customers.
Yeah. So
I don't know, I've always tried to do it as get them in with the oils and then add the supplements. But I don't know,
that's how I joined, and that's how I've been teaching. So I feel like I need to change things up a little bit, and I need to be more brand aware. Why do people like me in particular, and why do people come to these events that I make? So I think if I just keep presenting the big picture, using essential oil isn't the end, right? The big picture is I want you to be well and happy, right? And I have essential oils as tools, but I want you to know that there's these things too, and I want you to take a holistic approach. So if I keep that message in mind, they don't get oiled out or burned out in that way. So, because I've been doing the same thing over and over, and what happens when we're insane? We keep on doing the same old thing, right? So I thought, oh, okay, Jade, I changed the message, refocus. So even my emails are less spammy, because I look back and I think, yeah, I gave them education because I feel like, yeah, something valuable. But Ben kept reminding me that I need to stay on brand. And I thought, oh, isn't this on brand? But it was more, you got to put your personality in. So the last email, I got a lot of responses because I'm like, hey guys, my kids are going back to school. It's kind of crazy here. And I'm all, you know what? At first I thought, who would want to hear about me in my life? But that's why they're my fans, because they want to hear about me in my life. And he had to keep reminding me. So I said, hey, it's kind of crazy. I don't know if you guys feel this way. Aussies, you're halfway through the school year already. You're probably already, whatever. And I had all this information. And the reason why I have this information is because of this message at the beginning. And it was the brand. And I thought, oh, gosh, it took me that long to but I think it's just practice. So, and I ask for interactions too. And sometimes I don't. I'm like, hey, here's this information. Here's this information. Yay. And I don't ask for interaction at the end. I'm like, tell me how you guys are going with school and all that stress. And then I get all of the interactions. I'm like, don't, just little things that I think it was so obvious, but I still wasn't doing it. So yeah, the last couple of months, Ben and I have just done a lot of refinement. And I think summertime's because it's slow in the US. And then there's, I guess, this economy dip in everywhere. It was a good time to reflect. Right. And so we're revamping a lot of things. Even Ben with his brand, he had to rewrite it this week 3 or 4 times. He's like, wow, that's not exactly what the message is. I really want people to be healthy. I don't want people to be essential oils. That's not the point. And so we thought, okay, bigger picture now. And then we realigned both of our brands together. And so that was a big win. Yeah. So I feel it's exactly the same, Marie. It was like, but, come to learn about this for energy healing and emotional healing. But still, doesn't the lifelong vitality help with depression? Jade, come on. Yeah, so I'm going to give
I think that's important just to keep that at the front of your head, right? Like,
it's
a clear intention at the beginning.
I have to keep on.
And just to state that it's all about. And it is that, but it's good to, it's all about like the whole picture holistically.
Yeah. And I have to change the way because I am not used to it. That's how I was introduced to the oils. I was introduced to doTERRA through oils. And that's how I help people join doTERRA now. And so from here on out, it's going to be a flip-flop.
So let's mastermind a little bit, let's mastermind a little bit on how we can do that flip-flop, because we're all working on this very thing. To get on a wellness lifestyle with the nutritionals. And I've told this story before, so for repetition, if you've heard it before, I did have a conversation back in June or July, I think it was June, with a naturopathic doctor in Nashville. And she always enrolls with the Cleanse kit, but that was not available at the time. So she's using the Healthy Habits kit, which is not available now. And we've come back to doTERRA and said, we've got to have a nutritional kit available. So I really believe we're going to have an announcement that my fingers are crossed. I don't know anything. I don't have any inside scoop. But I'm really hoping that we will see a nutritionals kit launched at convention. We've got to have it. And so as we make this flip to get them on the nutritionals for a basic wellness lifestyle, everybody's going to go for that. And so this naturopathic doctor, she showed them how to get their oils for free. Just like you're talking about with BOGO, stock up with BOGOs. And she talked about the loyalty rewards order. You order every month the nutritionals, and then we use your points to get the oils for free. So that was her marketing approach. And she has 100% 100% enrollment on LRP doing it that way. So let's take a few minutes to mastermind a little bit, because this is a big deal. And
I feel like the
think
one
that
thing
honest.
that she has is that like people who are interacting with her are coming in like ready to make some lifestyle change.
Right.
And I
So
mean, maybe like it's just because I just went and saw a naturopathic doctor. Long time coming. I'm slow sometimes, but anyways, I finally did it. And as I was filling out the form, you know, there's those questions that are part of the form that asks for their commitment to change. I'm gonna go find them. Actually, hold on, because it's right on my desk. And I was like, it's that kind of question that is basically so what are your so this is all the intake form, her intake form. So what are 3 expectations you have from this visit? What is your long-term health goal? What is your present level of commitment to address any of the underlying causes of your signs and symptoms that relate to your lifestyle, 1 out of 10? What behaviors or lifestyle habits do you currently engage in regularly that support your health? What behaviors or lifestyle habits are you engaged in regularly that are not supporting your optimal health? What potential obstacles do you foresee in being able to undertake and maintain the lifestyle recommendations and therapeutic interventions that I will share with you? And so those kind of questions, right? They get people thinking holistically right off the bat. And I mean, if you look through some of the, what were those people called? Debbie, you're going to help me out with this. The engage, it's not engage, or, you know, it starts with an E. They had a question that was like, why do you feel like this is a good time in some of their marketing stuff when they taught? Do you know what I'm talking about? The
I'm trying to open the files in my brain right now. Seriously, I'm like, that sounds familiar. Which file is
it's it's Tasha Smith. What's her company? What's Tasha Smith?
Emerge Self Strength.
Emerge. I'm like, it starts with an E.
Yeah.
One of the Emerge questions that they taught you to ask was like, you know, why is now a good time to improve your health? Like so it was kind of going along the same lines. But I think in the naturopathic context, it's definitely like a pre-established part of that system.
It is.
That's my point. Whereas it's not a pre-established part of our system unless we make it so. So if we want to flip it, I feel like that's a part.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion, because the changes I've made is to filter prospects, and we just need a funnel. So funnel is in when we have our friendship, I just have to have a mental funnel. Okay, if they're not ready, willing, and able, kind of like you know, what's the faces thing. I just keep funneling, so I don't spend my time with those people. So yesterday I canceled 2 classes because I recognize this person is not the ideal person that I need to spend time with. She joined with 600 PV, all these wonderful things, but she wasn't heading the direction that I want. And I feel like, okay, Jade, you should have funneled better. You should have filtered better. And online, I do that funneling too. The products that the posts I put up, it's funneling and filtering now. I'm just getting more picky about the friends that I make. And then the questions I'm asking and the things that I'm leading people to, then I do the pitch. So Ben's learned a lot from some of the courses that we're taking. And he's like, okay, Jay, this is why you're getting some, you know, people that are not, you know, the ideal, the people that give you headaches. You know what I'm talking about, right? So if you want more ideal people so that these people will continue to be partners with you in your purpose and your mission, then, you know, you really need to understand yourself and how to filter. And it's been so liberating. All day yesterday, I was thinking, I'm so glad I canceled those classes, right? I'm so glad that I decided not to pursue and help this person, right? And now oh my gosh, you know what? I haven't really focused on the people that I really wanted to focus on because I'm trying to busy serving the people that are not interested in learning and healing and commitment to themselves. Why? You know, and I thought, okay, I've done that over the years, and I try to filter and filter. Again, it's another time to I guess, step up. I was had a note when Marie was talking here. Yeah, you know, when Debbie, do you remember? I wasn't there at the Diamond Retreat, but with what Ben told me about it, they were talking about the quick people who adopt the. It's sort of like a generation of people. When something's new, there's a certain percentage of the population that jumps in, run away. They take initiative.
Quick adopter.
Yeah, quick adopters. So there you go. And then there's this, now we have more of the followers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think if we tailor some of the changes that we're making to them, that would be helpful too. Because in the past it was, lots of education, lots and lots and lots. But now there's other generation of people, they're very specific in some of the things that they want, okay? So that's why I decided to create this last month of everything about stress and anxiety. Because it's like, I know those things are great, too much. I just want to fix this, all right? And so I made my own kits. I didn't have to wait for doTERRA. I made my own kits and I made all the promotions with it. So that's what we're trying to do tonight in our webinar that we've been prepping for the last 2 weeks. So I would, that's just, if you guys have any other suggestions of how to, I guess, serve this next group of people. Okay. Like with Debbie, you just took 5 minutes, 10 minutes and you sold me, because I will jump in anything that feels right because I'm not afraid. But then the second generation, they're like, yeah, too much work. Yeah. Wait until somebody else figures it all out. Huh?
I'm seeing that, too much work to even learn how to do this. And it's,
right.
Yeah.
Right. And then all the other people that have already supposed to adopt quickly and early, they've done it already. So doTERRA's been around for 10 years. They've received it. Now we have to serve them another. And I think that's part of why we struggle, because we're still trying to do the same things. And then we wonder why it's not working anymore. It's not that it didn't work, but we just have to, we're serving a different group of people now.
It's such a really good note. Everybody note that, okay? Because if you're seeing a lull in your businesses, it's because we're still trying to do the same thing we've been doing, and we're addressing a different mindset for certain. And so a couple of experiences I've had this week. I'm really close to my mission friends, and I've been home now for, I don't know, 36 years, whatever it's been. It's been a long time, 32 years, whatever it's been. I've been home for a long time, but we're still really close. And one of my mission friends, in our messenger chat, reached out and said, "Hey, has anybody heard from President or been able to connect with President Sister Hammond?" And none of us had. They weren't responding. They weren't responding to text messages. They weren't there when people tried to stop in to visit them. And so we, felt a little bit of concern. But in the course of that, we reignited our, communication again, which we do probably every month at some point in time. And accidentally, one of the ladies pushed the call. And the fun thing, I've never done this before. I've done a Facebook call before, but it's been individualized. But I've never hit the call button in a group messenger chat. And it called every one of us. And I was so shocked. I picked up, even though I was busy doing something else, and so did everybody else. And it was really a fun moment. But in the course of the conversation, when it was recognized that this was a butt call, it was a mistake, it wasn't meant to have happened, we connected again for about 15 seconds is all it was. But in the course of that time, one of the gals commented, and she was enrolled on my team years ago, and she commented, "It sucks being 50s." And what an opportunity to say, no, it doesn't. It doesn't suck being 50s. And so I get to now follow up and show, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. You can feel younger longer by introducing them to the nutritionals. So that was a really great opening, right, for me to get in there and start talking. Now, the call lasted 15 seconds. So that wasn't the forum. But individually now I'm reaching out to these ladies to say, no, it doesn't. It doesn't suck to be 50s. And so it was a fun moment of opportunity. Now, what was the second one? The second one, there was another, I'll think of it. There was another opportunity this week for the same thing to approach, and it's kind of like ding, 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 Debbie, do this. And the opportunity to approach the nutritionals, to go after the nutritional aspect, and then bring in the oils afterwards. So we're all trying to do the same thing. Everybody wants to be healthy and strong. So show them how this sets us apart, how the nutritionals that doTERRA has. In fact, I heard a webinar from a Russian lady, very broken English, very knowledgeable on supplements and nutritional supplements. And she was basically talking, and I listened to her for an hour before I knew whether she was on board with doTERRA supplements or not. And at the end, the whole point of her discussion, the whole point of her class was to prove that doTERRA had the most progressive, the top-notch supplements available. And so it was a very positive note, but I got to tell you, I listened for a long time as she went through her scientific data that wouldn't interest most people to show that doTERRA supplements were progressive and top-notch. So I think as we move that way, thoughts, concerns as you do that, as you move towards helping people live a healthy wellness lifestyle using what Jade referred to, what'd you call them, the basic 5, what'd you call them?
Yeah, the fundamental 5, yeah.
Fundamental 5. And so that was the LLV, the DDR prime. I didn't hear the other.
TerraZyme. Yep, and then you can just apply that balance.
Oh, okay. So TerraZyme, and then you brought in the Copaiba balance. Okay.
But I think the other guy, he couldn't remember his own 5. So I think it's the last 2 is just your take, your thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
It's going to be a bit of growing pains, I feel, because now when I advertise my class, it's not come and learn about, healthy weight or with essential oils. It's like, you stress and anxious, let's fix it kind of thing. And then you can just approach it with all the supplements and then the other things.
Now you've done that, and I've gotten your emails, and they're fantastic, Jade. So let's throw out some other ideas for class titles to bring people in on the wellness lifestyle approach, and then educate them to oils. Let's throw out do some brainstorming on some class titles or how we might approach that.
It's just basically the people that are in your circle of influence, Debbie. When I get 5 texts of people going, oh, I'm so stressed, I'm so da-da-da, and I think, oh, okay, we should make something for that particular need. Right. So whatever it is that comes up all the time, it should be your thing. Her girlfriend, her husband has MS. So, she doesn't have to go very far. She's like, Jade, I have 5 people this week asking me about MS. And I thought, do a class, darling. And she's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And of course she's going to bring in LLV, DDR prime, TerraZyme. All of the class is going to be like that. And then you just have your own oils, separate oil for MS.
Wendy, that's a really good example of Jen Ford. She's got high cholesterol, high blood pressure, or she had that, and she brings on the LLV and the DDR prime, and goes back and is checked, and lo and behold, it's done the trick, right? And so now she's able to get people on the nutritionals very easily by telling her story. And how many do we know that are on cholesterol or blood pressure medication, like everybody, right? In fact, it's an interesting conversation for those of us in our 50s and 60s, because that's the expectation when you go to the doctor. They're now prescribing 4 basic medications. One's a cholesterol, one's a blood pressure, one's a low-grade antibiotic because you're going to have infection, and then one's a pre-diabetic because you're going to have prediabetes. It's pathetic. And if you choose not to do that, they kick you out of the insurance program. It's really a sad scenario in our healthcare organization right now, across the nation of the U.S. at least. I don't know if it's in Canada, but it's definitely a U.S. thing. And my husband deals with that every single day. So we're out on our walk the other day, and I asked him, I said, he's coming up on 60. I said, do you want me to make an appointment And he said, dear, you know, the writing's on the wall. If I make that appointment, then I don't do what they say as what they tell me to do, then we're bumped off of the insurance. Interesting scenario. So basically the medical insurance doesn't serve us, right? And so doTERRA is our medical insurance. And I'm loving the possibilities in Prime Meridian, though in my neck of the woods, they have not been able to open that to all the wellness advocates because they're so busy with the employees right now in Pleasant Grove. So the clinic in Pleasant Grove is completely booked. We can't even get in there. But interesting scenarios that we're having when we educate to health and wellness.
So Debbie, I found that too, because I grew up in Australia. So I have some friends here in the States now, and the conversation is really interesting. This lady says, oh, I'm 60 something. I bet I have bone problems. I bet I'm borderline osteo and da-da-da-da. And I thought, why did you come up with that? What did you say that for? You know, I never hear any of my aunties, my mum's sisters and, you know, their age group, they never say that. And I think, it's like a subliminal message of the media or something. It's like, now your age, this age, you have these problems. It's so sad.
And so my ideal customer would be somebody who's looking not to get into that trend, okay? Who's looking to really take charge of their health and wellness.
And you're going to look for people who are educated too, and more of a rebel, Debbie.
Yeah.
People who are ready to be rebellious. And sometimes you're a rebel inside, and you're afraid that there's no one else like you out there. So if you say, hey, are you like me in this way? Because Ben said to me, I really should put down in my statement that I serve spiritually mature women, because I come home feeling like I need to vomit when I have people going, what does it have to do with anything I feel? And I'm like, what do I do about this person, Ben? He's like, let them go. So if I make that statement, then the universe will bring those people to me. I don't care if they're 17. My daughter is very spiritually mature. I don't care what age. It's just the spiritual maturity that I'm looking for. So, yeah.
Now, Jade, you cut out a little bit. I don't know if anybody else heard it, but you cut out for me when you came home frustrated and talked about who you were looking for. Can you repeat that?
Who I was living for?
Yeah, who were you looking for? Did that cut out for everybody else?
Didn't cut out for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Who I was looking for? I was looking for the spiritually mature people.
And so you included that in your brand or in your ideal customer.
You know, there's this weird fear of exclusion that I really should just step into it and adopt it, because you just want to be nice, and you want to be nice to everyone. You don't want to exclude people. But it backfires.
It does backfire.
Yeah.
I've been taking a course with Eddie Villa on working within your strengths. Very interesting experience to, and what he advocates basically is work in your top 10, let go of your bottom 5. And I changed my mindset to think, you know what, they're all strengths. I just need to develop them all. And then working with Eddie Villa, he's like, it takes so much effort to work in your bottom 5, let them go. So he helped you become familiar with what are your bottom 5. My number 34 is ideation. Anybody have ideation in their top 5? Or their top
My
10?
dad's number 1.
Your what? Your dad is number
My dad, that's his number 1.
Wow, ideation, I can't even wrap my mind around it. It causes me so much effort that it's like, forget it. You know what? And so Eddie's been helping me do that, to say, hey, okay. And so every day we focus on number 1 strength. Next day is number 2 strength. Next day is number 3 strength. Next day is number 4. And then he says, okay, now we're going to repeat that. We're going to focus on number 1 and 34 and see how we feel when we're operating number 34. Now we're going to focus on 2 and 33, 3 and 32. And he's helping us let go of operating in that bottom 5, because it takes so much effort and energy that we end up wasting our goodness. And so it's been a really interesting experience. I'm not proficient at it yet.
So Debbie, the 4-Hour Workweek guy, Tim Ferriss, he talks about getting rid of your your most stressful 20%. And, you know, I feel like that's how we should do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, very good. I have loved this mastermind, ladies. One thing I did this week is I picked up more classroom handouts. I was really out, and I was like, oh my gosh, how did I let this get this way? But I picked up these guides, and I've been pondering this all week long. All these training guides that doTERRA has, but they have the train guide, the lead guide, the multiply guide, which takes us through Diamond. Okay, these guides here, and you're familiar, and you can download them online, right? They don't have on print the ones for Blue Diamonds or Presidential Diamonds yet, but you can download them online. And I've thought about these words. I've thought about these words all day long. Train. Train to duplicate yourselves. Lead. You know, when you get into gold, if we're not leading others and helping them step up into leadership roles, we find ourselves dragging, we find ourselves pulling, we find ourselves exhausted because we're doing all the work. Platinum and diamond, multiply. The next one is influence. These words are really big words, I think, to ponder and say, what am I doing in my business to do this? What am I doing in my business to train? What am I doing in my business to lead? What am I doing in my business to multiply so that I'm not doing it all myself? And in doing that, as Jade has so lovingly and beautifully done today, if we're not working with those that are our ideal customer, it's like we're working in our bottom 5 all the time. We're just working so hard and so long and dragging and pulling that it's not serving us, and it's not serving us along in the desperation mode. And so beware of your mindset, beware of your what you're saying to yourself, beware of who you're looking for. When we get into desperation, we are attracting people that just take so much effort.
Sorry, Debbie, I have to jump off, but I just wanted, can I just say a few things here?
Absolutely.
To carry on the theme that you're talking about, I actually not only cut off those lower 10-20% of people, bottom, whatever, but I also made my top people step up this week. And I was super proud of myself. I was afraid and I kind of freaked out a bit because they might get offended and mad at me. But I said, this private message group that we have, I don't know if you saw that in my thing, is for, and I set the expectations, people who are active, people who are teaching classes, people who are commenting and adding to the community. So I set those expectations clearly. I made a video, a private video, and I sent it to them all. Please watch this. And I said, at the end of this month, Ben and I will filter through. We will remove people who haven't been active. And then we had about 6 people step up. And then we had about 2 or 3 people that were doing it on their own. Say, oh, me, I'll be that. And they joined our group. And for every few hours, we've got some activity in our private message group, because I chose private messaging for Facebook because everyone gets the message. With Facebook now, even if you're in the group or the page, it doesn't get shown to everyone. And I really need everyone to see this if they are my top 20. So yeah, next week we'll go through and we'll remove those other people and we'll notify them. But those are the things that the changes we're making. So, I mean, the end of summer and we're kind of figuring it all out. All summer long, it's been a bit of a rough ride for us. But yeah, we feel like this is where it's gonna need to change. Yeah.
Very good. And it helps you step into your confidence zone.
Yeah.
When you're working with your ideal.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, if they're gonna feel offended because I'm like step up, then they're not my top 20 anyways. So, and that's okay. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jade. All right, have a fantastic day. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and end here for all of us. Go out there and do some pondering of what we talked about today. This has been a phenomenal call, and I appreciate you joining us, all of us. Have benefited from all of you being here. So have a fantastic day. Go forward doing good things and lift yourselves back to a level 10 on a scale of 1 to 10 of confidence that you can do this, that you can really create something remarkable in this doTERRA experience. I really believe doTERRA offers that to us. So tweak it away until you get what you want. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye, thanks.
Thank